Imagine getting up every day full of energy as if you were in your 20s again. What would that be like? What would it be worth to you? What is your health worth to you? Think about it. Your health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. And yet, too many of us are taking it for granted until something goes wrong. And no one wakes up hoping to be diagnosed with a disease or chronic illness. And yet, we've never been taught how to be proactive in our health through our school or public health. As a registered health coach and integrative health practitioner, I believe it's time this information is made available to everyone. Combining new knowledge around your health and the ability to do my functional medicine lab tests in the comfort of your own home will allow you to optimize your health for today and all your tomorrows. Don't wait for your wake-up call. Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Wait for Your Wake-Up Call podcast. I am your host, Melissa Deely, and here with me today is another fabulous guest, Rachel Varga. And Rachel, you and I met recently at the Reimagine Health Summit in Florida, and yet you are from Vancouver, so I had to travel all the way across the continent to meet somebody from my local backyard, which is pretty fun. And just to welcome to the show, very excited to have you here. Thank you for your time. And I would love to just introduce you to the audience so they know a little bit more about you. So Rachel Varga has a bachelor. She's an RN and is a double board certified aesthetic nurse specialist since 2011 with over 20,000 procedures performed. She's also the host of a top 20 podcast, the School of Radiance podcast, an international clinical trainer for other physicians and nurses, a celebrity skin expert featured by Dave Asprey, JJ Virgin, and more. Rachel is an international speaker and 5-time academically published award-winning author in the field of regenerative and aesthetic nursing, as well as an executive board member and peer reviewer for the USA-based Plastic and Aesthetic Nursing Journal, and a regular contributor to the UK-based Journal of Nursing. Rachel is one of the first to combine functional slowing aging techniques, biohacking, and modern medical aesthetics by teaching us how to tune into what the skin is telling us about our internal health and what to do about it. Through education at home on non-toxic skincare, hair care, derma rolling, in-clinic skin rejuvenation, and biohacking, Rachel helps inspire others with her unique toolkit to slow cellular aging and enhance radiance using her holistic Science of Beauty method at theschoolofradiance.com, where one-on-one sessions for at-home and in-clinic skin rejuvenation guidance, as well as tutorial learning, are available. So that is a lot. And Rachel, I'm excited to have you here because, of course, our skin is our largest organ, and it's not a topic that I've ever delved into on the podcast before. So I'm very excited to have you on the show, feature your work and what you offer people, which is incredibly powerful. But first, I want to go back and have you share your story. How did you get here to where you're at today in this amazing service of anti-aging and beautiful skin and so much more?
Thank you so much, Melissa, for having me. And I knew when I connected with you at the IHP event with Dr. Stephen Cabral, is that, this community that we are forming of incredible practitioners here to help people on their health journeys, right? Mm-hmm. And oftentimes you and we have our own stories and journeys as well. So it's kind of fun to be able to share with, everyone listening, because it's about working with people and finding people to, get advice from that have shared values and have good boundaries and are sharing information in a way that's resonating with you personally on your journey, wherever you're at. So for myself to have made the massive transition from Western trained registered nurse to then medical aesthetics to then integrating something much deeper, which is, longevity, integrative wellness, but really the radiance piece. I kind of stumbled on it. And the reason why was actually because of my network. So being in the medical aesthetic space since 2011. So teaching other doctors, nurses, going to trainings on, what's the most advanced skincare and advanced laser and rejuvenation option out there. What's the best of the best? Constantly learning. I basically cultivated an incredible network of girlfriends, right? Friends in the industry that worked for this company and that company. So for many years, I received the behind the scenes insights, the insider scoop, and what some of these rejuvenation things we're actually doing, what some of the issues were, and things we need to be aware of. And then during that time, I started to attract a lot of really beautiful people to work with me. They would show up and they'd say things like, Rachel, I feel great on the inside. I just feel like the outside isn't quite matching. What can we do about it? So, on their health journey, they've been doing the body, mind, spirit, energy practices, eating the right foods, getting inflammation down. And then they're at this point where they look as good as they feel, which is a great approach. And then I started to notice that these very beautiful people that I've served over the years, they would float into the office, they'd grace the treatment chair, and they would be very calm and relaxed and just have this air about them, not stressed out by any means, not complaining or bragging about how busy they are and this, that, the other thing, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. And then I would do rejuvenation on them and they would heal very quickly. And they also required fewer rejuvenation interventions. And we're doing the home care with their skincare, with their dermal rolling, with eating well, with working with practitioners for the holistic wellness and integrative wellness, doing detoxes, keeping that oxidative stress status lowered. So that's really where I'm at now, is actually publishing research on why living a low oxidative stress status lifestyle is conducive to healthy skin, and what that process looks like with purifying our environment in regards to environmental stressors and air, water, lighting, electromagnetics, and things like parasites. So that's where I'm at now. It's really fun. So I'm excited to dive into, the superficial stuff, but also the more deeper layers of beauty, which is something called radiance.
And so let's just actually start right there with the definition of radiance, and then go back a little bit into the superficial layers, and then take me through that whole journey as well that you discovered as you embarked upon this career.
So the whole thing about radiance is I've been unknowingly studying it and observing it in clients of mine, thousands of clients since 2011, over 20 rejuvenation procedures. What makes some people different? What is it about them? I started to take notes out of their playbook, what their body, mind, spirit, energy practices looked like, what their home life looked like, what were their spiritual practices. Did they have some type of spiritual community, right? Did they go to church, whatever? And across the board, they all did. They have body, mind, spirit, energy practices, and they care about maintaining their family unit. And these are, of course, also key determinants of health too. So how do we put a construct on that? And how can we replicate it so others can access too? So it started with an observation of what is radiance, what is deep beauty that transcends, 20s, 30s, these people that I see that they exude this beautiful shine to them, which is radiance, which we'll get into the definition of it. I notice it primarily in individuals aged 60 to mid 90. So it's not something that you can rejuvenate. It's not something that you can show up and give someone money to cultivate for you.
Right.
And it is something that shows up later on in life through cultivation. So in accordance with Ayurveda, radiance is the 10th body. Our body, mind, spirit, and energy are first 4 bodies in accordance with Ayurveda. Radiance is the 10th body. Now, what's interesting about this body is that the 10th body radiance is the electromagnetic projection of the
Mm-hmm.
quality of the other systems operating.
Right.
So if body, mind, spirit, energy, all these other aspects to us are dimmed,
Mm-hmm.
our projection into the world of who we are, what we're here to do, our mission, and loving life, all of those will be impacted. So
Mm-hmm.
when you connect with someone, for example, when I connected with you, I could see that, you're living a life that you're happy with, you're passionate about, what you get to talk about all day long. You're living, you're working, you're breathing passion, which is helping people.
Absolutely. Yes. And I
And
do. I love it. I love every moment of it. And it does allow me to show up with or from this place of joy. And so I'm really enjoying this definition of radiance and the fact that it shows up later in life. After we've had the time to learn who we are and what our purpose and passion is in the world. So keep going.
yeah, there's an interesting piece to this too. So of course we want to look good, we want to feel good. You got to use non-toxic skincare products. Definitely got to use non-toxic makeup and hair care.
Absolutely.
That goes without saying, right?
Yeah.
So I make that part easy. And that is the easy part for me. And also, what does the rejuvenation plan look like? But the radiance stuff, I've really noted it actually, well, for myself in particular, when I can tell I'm operating at a different frequency, things happen in my life in a different way. So, say, for example, I got a call to go to this event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just the way that everything transpired was really neat. So, when you're operating as a radiant human, beautiful people, places, and things and opportunities present themselves. You become like a magnet for other people like you. So when I connect with you and other practitioners at this event, it's like this is my soul family. And it's so much fun to, be able to make friends this way. And you end up coming across the right people in the right way at the right time. You inevitably are beautiful and have a better body composition. Your brain is going to work better. You're going to sleep better. Your hormones are going to be more balanced because you're not just doing, skincare and rejuvenation, but you're really paying attention to your body, mind, spirit, and energy practices. The key aspect here, I think, is also oxidative stress reduction and detoxing.
Absolutely. I 100% agree that I really have never thought about radiance in that way before. And so thank you for, taking it to that deeper level of what radiance truly is. And when you are in that place of radiance, what happens in the sense that you're attracting other people that are also in that radiant space to you and how powerful that is. And so for the audience listening, if you're looking at your own life and going, I want more radiance, it's not just about looking at the outside and it's not just about looking at the inside of you. It's the combination of all of you. It's that holistic approach to your health that allows and your life that allow you to achieve that place of radiance.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy we put out there dictates the energy that we attract back.
Oh, 100%. So it's not about worrying or being concerned with fine lines, wrinkles, pigmentation, loss of collagen and elastin. The interesting thing is when you do the oxidative stress reduction stuff, detoxing, your beauty and body composition follows. Mental clarity, sleep, it all improves.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're massive on helping people within their guided health journey and all of these things. And I am as well. It's just adding this extra layer of, hey, we can do this and we can look fantastic in the press. And at the same time, be able to very quickly discern other people that are operating at this frequency too, and to build our community of like-minded individuals. Because at the end of the day, beautification, looking our best, feeling our best, it's to build our confidence, to then build our community. And we're stronger together. And this is actually a deep rooted survival need. And so a lot of you have probably never thought about it in this way, the deeper levels of what beauty can actually do for us. What I'd love to do, what I think would be worthwhile, is actually sharing some of my research on oxidative stress status and its impacts on skin aging to give everybody tuning in a bit of a strategy to really improve their environment to look and feel better.
I would absolutely love for you to do that. And I just also want to share, just based on what you've said already, a story of my own, because 10 years ago I was in the corporate world. I didn't know what I know today about health, detoxing, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things that I was so frustrated with was the fact that my skin would break out. I had adult acne that made me look like a teenager, and I had teenagers in the house, and every morning I would look in the mirror and be like, why do I have to look like my teenagers when I'm in my 40s? And like I said, I didn't know what I know today. However, once I got out of the corporate world, I got into health and wellness, and I started learning about detoxing and oxidative stress, etc., and how, what's happening on the inside is impacting the outside, and started implementing what I was learning. My skin cleared right up. And one of the biggest things I did was I started changing the products that I was using so that all the products that I now use are non-toxic products versus buying before that was in the regular, local pharmacy, the Rexall or the London Drugs or the Shoppers Drug Mart or the Walgreens or whatever, where we think all of those products are safe and non-toxic because they're on the shelves and they're for sale, so they must be okay, right? Except that what I now know, and I know what you know, Rachel, is those products are full of toxic chemicals that are negatively impacting the health of our skin, the health of our body, our brain. And, they've had some testing done, although it's, using this one product a couple of times. It's not testing all of the different ingredients in that product to be used daily. And we end up being the test subjects. And so I love that you also help your clients find products that are safe and healthy for their skin versus toxic products. So I just wanted to share that personal story of my journey around my skin health and the power of detoxing and reducing oxidative stress. And now please do share the stats because I know they're going to be very powerful.
Yes, well, Melissa, number one, congratulations on exiting the corporate world in your 40s. The other thing here is adult acne can be a sign of youthfulness. It can also be a sign of inflammation. So for myself as well, this was something I struggled with. I'd have to have it lasered off in the clinic every month because that redness, that post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation after breakout just wouldn't go away. So I had to laser it off. Now, if I get a breakout, it's present for about 2-3 days, and then that redness is gone in about 2-3 days.
Right.
So just to jump to acne and breakouts or bug bites, for instance, South Florida, this is actually something to learn how to notice in your body, because if that redness and inflammation is extended, that's a sign that your body's under stress. So great job leaving the corporate world. I can tell operating in your feminine as well. And that's also a big thing. That's, I think a massive part of beauty and radiance is to be balanced with the masculine and feminine qualities, the yin and the yang, as I have some really cool technology playing that operates on that too.
And I definitely wasn't when I was in the corporate world.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know that I wasn't. But as I got out and I learned, I realized I was entirely in my masculine self in the corporate world.
And that's going to age you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also damaging to our relationships. So this is getting into something a little bit deeper now, is not only non-toxic products, which you mentioned your products, but also making sure that we are behaving and operating in a way that's most conducive to our needs, not necessarily society telling us work like a man, right? Where did that programming come from? Very interesting. I think that there's some deeper rooted concepts to the drivers of getting women to operate more like men in the corporate world, right? So that's a whole other tangent. whole other tangent.
That could be a whole other podcast. Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm getting at. So when it comes to non-toxic products, here we go. We need to avoid things like parabens, phthalates, sulfates, artificial dyes, fragrances, and of course, test on consenting animals. And then here's the other caveat. We not only want those products to be non-toxic, forget about all natural and chemical free. Those are just marketing ploys. That's greenwashing. Water's a chemical. What matters, oxygen and hydrogen coming together to form a molecule, a chemical.
Right.
So what matters is, are the chemicals good for us or are the chemicals bad for us? So retrain yourself with chemical, become a more conscious consumer right now. And the word natural, anything from planet Earth, right? Petroleum, gas, pretty sure it's not great for our skin. So just think about that when you see product marketing on everything. The other thing with information in the dermatology space, particularly on YouTube, is you'll find a lot of practitioners that, board certified, all this, but they're recommending really inexpensive, easy to access products for the masses that people can easily pick up at CVS or other places that are full of parabens and are known hormone disruptors. So not only look at the skin products that you're considering using, but also look at the quality of information that you're allowing into your consciousness on your health journey in every layer, right? Always
Absolutely. And I do see in clinical testing of women's hormones in particular, I do see very large imbalances with estrogen and hormone. Part of that's caused by stress. And then another big part of it are the xenoestrogens that are in these products that we're putting on our skin every single day. And when we put it on our skin, it's only 26 seconds and it's straight into the bloodstream. And so, yes, these are very important conversations because when our hormones are out of balance for too long, we start to have symptoms of, maybe it's early menopause, maybe it's PMS that gets worse. Perhaps it's actually starting to slow the thyroid and other such health issues impacting our blood sugar levels. So it's a bigger issue than just, impacting my hormones. And people might hear that and not understand what that means, but it really does have long-term impacts on your health.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought up xenoestrogens. So when I'm doing a consult with someone and I'm thinking of one client suffers with thyroid issues, hypothyroidism. So now we're looking at her products, and every single one of her products has either parabens, phthalates, or chemical sunscreen filters. So chemical sunscreen filters, if you pick up your sunscreen, your BB cream, your moisturizer with sunscreen, any beauty product you're using with sunscreen, flip over to the back, look at the medicinal ingredients. If it has anything other than zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, say for example, avobenzone or oxybenzone, anything in the active medicinal ingredients section that ends with an ane or an one is a chemical sunscreen filter. You need to stop using that. That's different than the list of the, full ingredients list.
Right.
So stopping with those chemical sunscreen filters ASAP. Key, also look at the perfumes you're using. The irony is that beautification like perfume sprayed on the neck and décolleté to help us smell more beautiful, done for beautification, is actually making people more sick and aging them faster. So yes, your products that you're using day in and day out absolutely need to be free of toxins, right? And also customized to your specific needs. But here's the thing, a lot of like the super crunchy, hippy dippy, all organic, 5 ingredients type of vitamin C and hyaluronic acid or peptide serum, you have to be very careful with that stuff too. Because if the formulation isn't kept stable, that vitamin E can actually become an oxidant and a free radical. So there's a whole, I have a background in biochem as well, formulating my own products behind the scenes too. But right now I sell, 18 different brands, sourcing the best of the best from many different companies that I've worked with and seen great results with since 2011. So there's always new kids on the block. There's always new things. There's always this fancy new peptide. And I'm thinking to myself, this peptide's been in practitioner grade skincare since I started the industry in 2011. So just avoid the bright, shiny object syndrome. I would love to, I know we just have a couple minutes left. I'd love to get into some of the key environmental um, triggers
Mm-hmm.
that impact the skin and what to do about it. And also oxidative stress in general.
Yes. So that's all great topics to talk about. And I just want to add in here that I just love what you do and the research you do, like looking into the products of these 18 different companies, and you take the overwhelm out of it for individuals, because otherwise it's, people don't have time to do all of this, but to go to you to find out because you've done it all and then have the right product for themselves and their skin is absolutely fabulous. You just make it easy for people. So yes. And let's get into the oxidative stress and environmental factors for people to watch out for.
Fabulous. Love to. Now, the funny thing is that when I started Zoom calls for one-on-one clients across the globe in 2017, because people were coming to see me in the clinic,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, why are all these people coming to see me, this 20-something-year-old nurse, Vancouver Island? What's going on? So people deserve to get this kind of information no matter where they are, which is, the Zoom stuff. But still to this day, nobody is operating in a way that I do. And it's, again, because of that background in the medical aesthetic space, the key insider info, the industry, I get all the leads. And then also very much so integrated in the health and wellness space with functional and integrated medicine. So love taking the overwhelm out of it. And I did that also in an effort to support those out there who are quote unquote biohackers, who are really excited to modulate their environment to support their biology. And how can I take the overwhelm out of that too? So I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a research paper that looks at 5 key areas. Now, you've probably heard biohacking, you probably think, oh, red light therapy, right? Or this peptide. I actually recommend on 5 primary aspects first, and
Mm-hmm.
then adding the fancy layers on top of that. So, first of all, air.
Mm-hmm.
Purify your air. Most of the body's exposure to heavy metals is from the air, not to mention mold. So, this is where cleansing the skin is also really important in the AM and also in the PM with a specific cleanser, rinsing it off really well. Because with the air, in my research, I came across something that was interesting. When particulates rest on the skin, it actually can tell. So, heavy metals, pollutants from the air, it actually tells your keratinocyte stem cells to die faster. So if you ever needed that little nudge or niggle to tell you to actually wash your face,
Mm-hmm.
rinsing off the energy of the day, you've probably heard that saying.
Yep.
Um, Rinsing and cleansing in more than just the superficial. Really taking that time to clear out energies from the day too, people you connected with as well. So purify your air, get some easy air purifiers, have them in your main living space, your bedroom, your car. Done. Next is water. There are some cool things we can do with water. It's not just about using your fridge filter or your countertop pitcher filter. It's actually about looking at reverse osmosis, structured, remineralized, and also ionized, all 4 in one system. Very cool what we can do with her now. So it's not just looking at reverse osmosis. It's actually that and then 3 other qualities too. So the reason why not drinking tap water is so important for your health is because there's lots of things that are added to tap water to get rid of bacteria and parasites, fungi, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the PVC in the water piping releases phthalates, which are hormone disruptors,
Yes.
as well as biofilms accumulate. When was the last time you saw your water company take out the piping underneath the ground and get rid of the biofilms as a spring clean? It doesn't happen. So these things just accumulate. And those are the key things I wanted to mention, as well as pharmaceuticals. There's a lot of pharmaceuticals that are found in tap water, because it basically, if someone is taking pharmaceuticals, they go to the bathroom, their excreting is getting in the water supply. So that's why purifying your water, if you ever needed a reason to do it, that's why to do it.
That's it. Yes, that's a good
Yeah.
one.
And also rinse and wash your face, wash your hair in filtered water
Mhm.
too. So the lighting situation, going to talk about this briefly. LED lights, our bodies are getting more exposure to radiation sources from LEDs, more so than we are outside from the sunshine. So what this is doing is it's actually, the blue light reaches much deeper into the skin than the light outside does. So we're seeing eye diseases, cataracts that were primarily in 80-year-olds and 40-year-olds now. So we're seeing that from LEDs, also probably EMFs as well. And then I think we're seeing more rates of hair loss as well from being indoors more and having LEDs above us. I'm going to write another paper on that. So switching to incandescent halogen, wearing blue light blocking glasses, going to lamps with halogen bulbs, as soon as that sun goes down is really key. Now, the EMF part. So in my research, I came across a statistic. That was from Canada. Health Canada or Stats Canada published in 2019 to 2020 that deaths of unknown cause doubled.
Mm-hmm.
Doubled. In previously, it had remained steady, 4 to 6 years prior to. No other category did we see this signal in. So I reached back out to Stats Canada and said, what is this? So either people passed away before receiving a diagnosis, so delays in the system, or number two, they weren't able to actually get a diagnosis. So autoimmune stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a researcher, we look at this. So what happened from 2019 to 2020? Respiratory disease had its own category, okay? This was different. What was going on here? So if we look at wireless cellular radiation and EMFs and frequencies that had been adjusted at that time frame, that's what we saw. So I would go so far as to say that I think that EMFs, Bluetooth, smart technology is like the smoking of our generation. So why do I think that? Timing wise, why do I care about it for the skin? Because the skin is the largest organ of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're on our technologies for 5 minutes or phone for 5 minutes, your red blood cells are already starting to stick together. Factors, you're not going to get good blood flow to your skin. You may experience things like brain fog. You may have difficulties with detoxifying because your blood isn't moving freely in your system and getting rid of those waste products. So that's why getting outside 5 to 10 minutes every day, a couple times a day, ground that body. Don't wear smartwatches, anything that's emitting a frequency don't have on your body. And starting to wear some EMF shielding clothing is something that I do all the time. And, there's research on this stuff now. If you look up PubMed, EMFs in the skin, you'll find a couple of them. So it's out there now. So air, water, lighting, electromagnetics,
Mm-hmm.
then your body's going to be able to detox better because you've opened up those pathways and you're reducing that constant exposure of oxidative stress so that the body can flush out the other things. So interesting concept coming from a skin person, I know, but hopefully that provided a little bit of like, okay, how does this whole detoxification stuff work? Oh, why is washing the face important for the skin? Does Bluetooth actually impact the skin? So hopefully that was helpful. And anyone can read the research article I just wrote on this stuff.
And if give me the link to it, I'll be happy to drop it in the show notes for you so people can find it easily. And yes, all of that is really helpful. And it just comes back to what I'm always teaching as well, is that we are all interconnected, right? So everything affects everything. And we're not just talking about one organ, we're talking about the whole body, and what's affecting one organ is affecting other organs. And the beautiful thing about our body is it's designed to self-heal. And so when we start healing one part of our body, all of our body starts healing. And that isn't necessarily how we've been taught, being raised by the medical industry. We've kind of been taught, oh, if you have heart issues, they're just addressing the heart. Or if you have, type 2s are just going to address your blood sugar levels. But in reality, we need to be addressing the whole being. And when we do that, that's when we get lasting healing, resulting in lasting health, which is the step towards radiance that we started the show talking about. So thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge about this. As I said, I haven't had someone talk about this before, and it's really fascinating to, see the depths to which our skin is impacted by our lifestyle, and for people to be aware of that. And it's very easy now in today, in 2023 to be making different choices when it comes to our skin health. Whereas 30 years ago, we didn't have as many options as we have today. So a question that I love to ask every single person that comes on the show is, what does don't wait for your wake-up call mean to you, Rachel?
Oh gosh, don't wait. That's such a good love. I love this. Don't wait for your wake-up call. Having gone through my own journey of reducing oxidative stress, the skin stuff, figuring out this radiant stuff, living it, being it, if I hadn't have learned this, I wouldn't have the friends I have now, right? I wouldn't be these different collectives and networks that I'm part of now. I would be in a previous way of living that was totally dysregulated nervous system into car crashes, probably be in a lot of pain and really unhappy with my life. And so if I waited, I wouldn't be here talking with you. I wouldn't have done this research and having a lot of fun and looking great in the process, knowing that I'm helping other people look their best and feel their best so that they can go out. And then people are like, what are you doing? Right. So if I hadn't have taken the time and energy to do my own journey, I wouldn't be helping as many people as I am now too.
And that's absolutely beautiful. And you are absolutely beautiful inside and out, and a testament to the work that you do. And just to at the your young age to know that it's not about waiting for your wake up call. It's about taking action to live your best life. And that's the choice. So
wait a second. My wake up call was actually a car crash. That's right. It was a car crash in 2019. I was on a very similar parallel here with you, Melissa. You were in corporate world, right? Corporate in your 40s.
Yep.
Here I am, aesthetic nurse, traveling here, speaking here, multiple times a week, getting on an airplane, going somewhere.
Right.
And then one day on my way home from the clinic, I got rear-ended really badly and just had terrible whiplash. And so that was my call, because my wake-up call, because I actually noticed it. So sometimes we get bumped off a course that we thought was a good course for us, so we can get a health blip from that. So noticing if you've ever had a health, and did you actually notice what that might have been telling you? So for me, I did the oxidative stress reduction, started eating the right foods, doing the detoxing, taking the antioxidants, all that good stuff to reduce pain after the car crash. But then I noticed the skin and anti-aging and body composition benefits too. So it was really interesting. What my wake-up call was to feel good, and then you get to look good too from it. So it's kind of fun.
And that wake-up call actually comes back to what I always say is everything happens for you, not to you. And so because you noticed it, you were able to take action in a different way.
Course correct. Yes,
exactly.
Get back on track.
Exactly. So if people want to work with you, how can they get hold of you, Rachel?
Absolutely. So if you're listening here, it's, no mistake, things like that. So free stuff, the School of Radiance podcast. Obviously, Melissa, you're going to be on the show as well, sharing your beautiful insights. School of Radiance podcast, great place to hang out to get these positive insights and little nuggets throughout your day. The schoolofradiance.com is where you can read my research articles. For example, my latest oxidative stress. And that's also where you can book a one-on-one with me find my tutorials. And then I also have a free gift of a complimentary 30-minute training on this very concept of reducing oxidative stress to slow aging and look and feel our best. Getting great skin isn't something that happens by chance. It happens by choice. And everything is available at theschoolofradiance.com. And you're warmly invited to use promo code Melissa15 for 15% off of your one-on-one session with me, where we'll connect like this, and I'll provide that custom what to do at home and in the clinic, as well as the ongoing support. I'm here to support you.
Thank you so very much, Rachel. That's wonderfully generous of you. And I encourage all of the listeners to check out her free course, check out her website, read the research papers that are there, and book your one-to-one with Rachel. Don't make this hard on yourself. It doesn't have to be. Make it easy. Contact her, and she'll guide you as to what is going to work best for you and your skin on your health journey. So thank you, Rachel. And is there any last message that you would like to leave with the audience today?
Be gentle with yourself and just know that your journey is not going to look like anybody else's. My journey of doing a week-long fast in the desert at altitude after I'd done the oxidative stress status stuff, started with some parasite detox. And it's like, okay, body wants to do pretty much a week-long fast. And what I noticed and what I see in other people is when they get that nudge, that call to adventure, they have the mentor show up to help them out. They go through their own hero's journey. They overcome the obstacle and they receive the reward. So just so you know, my journey of what this was like for me was my reward was beauty and radiance. So, I here I'm feeling like I hit the jackpot with what I get to teach and live and be and talk about and get excited about. So yeah, just a little something there that I didn't share earlier.
Mm-hmm. And so very true that each of our journeys is absolutely individual. And so comparing to another serves no purpose. It's definitely about finding the mentors and the teachers that can guide you on your journey to your best life and living in radiance. So thank you again so much, Rachel, for coming on the show, sharing your wisdom. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. And to my listeners, thank you very much for tuning in every week to all of these shows. I love to bring other practitioners to you to give you resources on your health journey, because each and every one of us is on our own individual health journey. So please share this with someone that you think might like to hear about Rachel's work. Until next week, have a wonderful, healthy week ahead. Are you a practitioner or a coach listening to this? If so, I would love to ask you, do you use hypnotherapy in your practice working with clients? And if not, would you like to? The power of hypnotherapy is limitless. And so often we experience our clients struggling to reach their goals. It's because they're coming up against their own brick walls and getting stuck. But you can help them through the power of hypnosis break through all of that, working with their unconscious mind to put the suggestions in, to have them taking the action to achieve the results that they want. They are thrilled with your coaching techniques. They're getting the results they want. You feel amazing because you are helping your client get the results they want. It's a win-win. And another win is that it's an added revenue stream for you in your business. So if you like the feel of helping your clients get the results they want, if you like the sound of that, then definitely reach out, Melissa at yourguidedhealthjourney.com, or click the Linktree link below for my Unlimited Power of Hypnosis class to learn more. It's a weekend designation program that I teach, valid in 42 countries. You write an exam after taking the experiential course, and you can be admitted to the American Board of Hypnotherapy and start using hypnotherapy one-to-one with your clients and have them achieving the results they want.